writing early history about man, early man, you know, and you read a sentence like, man lost his fur because it was so hot when he was out hunting. Now try putting she into that. You take a piece of the Sistine ceiling, you know, and put one of those godlike creatures and make that godlike creature look like a woman instead of a man. That's what we had at that meeting. Well, we were entirely preoccupied with the conference because there were so many kinds of conferences. You know, nobody had encouraged anybody to come but governments, especially our government. They didn't want anybody else there at all. But about 600 people came from non-governmental organizations and gradually got in. And then there was a hog farm people came and ran a nice hippie center outside of town that was very peaceful. And then there was a life forum with a lot of American Indians who were brought over. And there was a big forum where all the major issues were discussed, a couple of them. And people, you just went from place to place with all sorts of levels of things happening. Mrs. Gandhi came, and nobody really had much time for swinging outside the conference. There was too much swinging inside. Well, in any society that we know anything about, there's some things about sex that are difficult. I mean, people have never managed to handle every aspect of sex comfortably. And you make fun and play with the things that are difficult. The difference is, of course, that in primitive society, pornography isn't commercialized. The thing that is unpleasant in our society is the commercialization of people's weaknesses. Just a little bawdy laughter doesn't do any harm, although in most societies, there's some people who don't approve. As far as we know now, you can't ever say there hasn't been a society, you know, because a lot of the societies have been aren't here. But you can say that we don't know of any society without taboos. They may be very different sorts of things. But I remember when I was a freshman in college and everybody wore those things over their ears and the freshmen were made to show their ears. And they said with great vigor, I'd rather show my knees than my ears.
Wow.
Wow, you know, the skirts were down to your ankles in those days, and that was a big thing to say. And there's no break, no suspicion, no build-up, no climax. Life isn't as interesting. I think love was far more interesting when people had to climb over garden walls.
Yes.